All right, guys. So welcome. My name is the Overnight Coder, as you guys may or may not already know. I know a lot of you guys, so it's a smaller group today, but still, these are pushed out. I think we're getting like 1,000 views, 7, 8, 900 views on some of these. So some of these topics I'll just keep open. Today's topic is design and styling. Again, we can always take a look at your existing websites. So from now on, keep in mind, it's not just us 6 or 7. Right, it will be anybody on YouTube. I try to post the chat sometimes, and again, we'll record this and just make sure that everybody can see it. So keep that in mind, that it's not just us viewing something. If you guys decide to share something, there's a lot of people that are going to be able to see it. But with that being said, I'm Overnight Coder. You guys already know my channel on YouTube, and you know I'm affiliated with ListingPro. Sam couldn't be here; he's traveling. He normally makes it to all these meetings, but he won't be joining us now. He's kind of doing the family, I think the family thing, but definitely traveling. And yeah, he'll be missed. So with that being said, at some point, I'll reference the groups if you guys aren't already in there. I think most of you guys found our Facebook groups. Listen, the Facebook groups are great. I just ran into an issue where that last update was beating people in the head. Like, you know, you would update, and I didn't update any of my client sites or any, just because I wait for some of this feedback. I do it on a testing site, and then at some point I'll update, and I have backups anyway. So even if I did one and you know, it just didn't go as well. But I just want you to keep that in mind. In the groups, we got to see everybody posting that, and it was a no-brainer for me. Like I just held off. Now there is a solution. So if you're having any problems and you don't already know the solution, check the Facebook groups. But this is you know, it's not just you. You're no longer alone. The Facebook group, even if you don't do Facebook, create a dummy account, join the Facebook groups, because there's so much positive information, like security risk updates, information. I know some of you guys are in those groups and you're learning a lot. Like Shelby, Shelby runs a very great site. And I know she's collecting a lot of information, whether it's from these or the groups. And I know there's a lot of you guys that can say the same thing, whether you're emailing me directly in some of you guys' cases, or you know, you're getting the information from the group. And some of those things I don't even see. Like, you know, they had that Google review thing, and Shelby was like, no, Eugene posted that. And I was just like, I must have missed that. But how to interlink ListingPro with like Google reviews was, I mean, that's priceless. A lot of people ask for that. So keep that in mind. So again, today's topic, style and design. As we get into it a little bit, I'm going to give you a bunch of recommendations. I told some people before everybody had joined, this doesn't have to be ListingPro. Yes, I'm going to use a ListingPro website to kind of keep it not like my personal design, but I'm just using a page builder. So a lot of it comes down to using a page builder or using some type of design tactic. And we'll be going over that. So don't limit this to ListingPro. Don't limit it to Elementor. Yes, I might show you some tricks you can do with Elementor, but WP Bakery has the same tricks. I'm not comfortable with WP Bakery. I'm just not. That's just not me. I'm not comfortable with Oxygen. I'm not comfortable with Gutenberg. I'm not. You know. So, but again, the design and the styling that we'll be talking about today, not even specific to a directory. You can do this on a business site or a shop. So let's jump in. At some point, if you guys have questions, comments, again, if you want to share your link, I'll rip it apart, or I'll tell you the positives and the negatives, just coming from my personal opinion. Now, keep these in mind, guys. If I tell you something and you're like, oh, this guy is 100% wrong, I might be. I've been a web developer for over 20 years. I know it looks good. I don't think I have much negative feedback in my development work, but you're right. It's just my personal opinion. Some developers like a lot more white space than others. But I can tell you, and this is what I see. I'm going to use this as a perfect example. I've seen people do a yellow background with a darker yellow text on top. And she swore by that design. And me personally, I can't read. I mean, I got 20/20 vision. I can't read that. Like it wasn't beneficial. And another one is script. I like script. Like I like cursive. I'm a little bit older, you know, I might not sound like it, but, and I don't mean like old grandpa old, but I learned, you know, script or cursive in school. I know nowadays they don't even teach it. Not to say that kids can't read it, but I seen a site with all of script, like, and it was hard on the eyes. even though I can read it, and I know some generations can't, but it was just, I would never put, like, I've used a little bit of script, like a coming soon, and it looked like it was kind of in cursive, but it looked kind of almost like graffiti cursive, so it looked cool. But I would not do all my titles in script. And if you take a look at Google, right, you can get a perfect example, or any popular website that's popular, not your buddy's website. You see exactly what they do. Everything is clear cut, left to right. You know, it's black. It's one of your popular fonts. So let's jump in there, man. Any questions so far? Keeping in mind, you guys are on mute. Feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand in the, with Zoom, or talk in chat, and we got you covered. I'll give you guys a second if you have any questions just based on what we did. If not, I'm going to jump into styling. Glad you can make it, Scott. I think you're still here. No, you took off. No, that guy in Japan, you switched accounts. That's definitely you.
Hello, Tim. Hello, everybody.
It's late night for you, man. I'm doing
It's
well.
only 1 a.m.
Yeah, sorry about that. Perfect. I guess we're going to jump right in there. Let me share my screen. I'm going to show you some stuff that, matter of fact, I'd like to pull up some examples. I don't want to get too far off. We're going to start with this ListingPro screen and show you guys some tips and tricks. We'll also pull open some of the sites that I've done, just because, so my personal site. Now, keep in mind, this one isn't ListingPro. Again, I'm going to jump more into ListingPro. But I just want to show you some aspects. Now, this is a development site. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with my live site, which is kiteboarding for you. I'm not happy with it. I'm never happy as a developer with my own site. And with that being said, I don't really have a lot of time to create my own work. But the first thing is design and style. A big thing for design and styling is knowing what your website's about. I'm not going to mention any names, but I got a call, and I got an email, and they said that, you know, their bounce rate was super high, right? And when I looked at the site, I looked at it. I didn't really know what the site was about, right? So style and design, I feel, played a huge part in that. Not to say the site was bad, you know, I'm not saying that at all. It wasn't clear enough for me to know why I was there. And how long do you go through not knowing until you just leave a website? And how did you get there to begin with, right? So let's take a look. Again, not the perfect example because it needs plenty of work. And do you guys know what this site's about? I mean, just the first title. You know what it's about, right? You're finding your next riding level, location, vacation, or event. So be really descriptive. Yes, you can post on Facebook and say, hey, this is a directory for kiteboarding, but check us out. But again, if you're getting that SEO traffic or any other type of traffic, you need to make your design style really, and I can't tell you exactly how to do that, but make it descriptive. Let them know exactly why we're here. I don't care that your title has your city name in it and it says, hey, listings, so Orlando listings. I still don't, like, I'm a directory owner, so I know what that means, but a lot of people, they show up Orlando listings. Are you selling real estate? So be descriptive in the first top fold of what you're doing. Now, I will tell you, this comes from 20 years experience. This isn't, I'm not just fly in the night, and I'll give you background stuff surrounding some of the topics that I touch. So not only did I do kiteboarding directory, and yeah, this could probably be a little bit darker so you can see the white a little bit better. But again, development, you can tell this isn't live. And then I jump into 3 call outs about what the major things are. Yeah, you can search, you can find local things, you can plan a trip. And then I'll scroll down a little bit. Some of the design elements I needed to stand out, like popular look, riding look. This stands out, right? I've got call to action buttons around the site. I've got a little bit of latest news. I've got a full incomplete footer. And you'll notice that a lot of the style and padding, and this is another one, needs to be similar. So like, I don't care if you like a lot of white space or you like less white space, but check out the padding. The padding is going to be the same almost everywhere. This one needs a little bit of push up, but almost everywhere you'll notice the same gap in between items, and that's going to keep your site consistent. Another thing is the text and title. I'm going to show you some tricks, don't worry. But text and title, I choose popular fonts, right? I just choose popular fonts. I have some that I find popular. You can always Google, hey, what are some popular web fonts. Keep in mind, you want to type that web design or web in there because there's popular, what is that? The newspapers, they've got popular fonts, might not be the same as web design. You know, you've got popular kid fonts. It's not going to be the same. So just make sure. I went through a list. Quicksand is in there. Tahoma's in there. Arial's in there. Poppins is in there. And you've got a bunch, and different articles will tell you different things, but I tend to choose. You know, I choose one font, and I'm using that for the title. So, of course, the titles are different colors. They're a little bit different in size, but you'll notice I use that same font. Now, I also choose a second and sometimes even a third font because, yes, I don't want my paragraphs to be like this, right? That's just not going to look good. So paragraphs also, when you're thinking paragraph text, do easy to read text, right? So if you go to Google again, you've got the same, Roboto, Open Sans, maybe, and then there's a few. You don't want to make it hard to read. Our eyes are used to reading the same fonts almost all around on the popular sites. So don't do a script, a cursive in here. I'm a great cursive reader. I'm not reading that, right? And again, look at all your, I'm gonna pull up some popular sites, right? GoDaddy, everybody knows GoDaddy. I hate GoDaddy, but it's a popular site. Notice how they have different titles. They have this title here. I mean, I could inspect it and show you the font. I'm not really worried about that. Same font as here. Then they use, it looks like the same font as here. Then they go into their paragraph or their easy to read font that doesn't have all the sans serifs and all that. And that's a big part of this. What about padding and spacing? They kind of opened it up here, but yeah, they do a really good job of getting the same title, same paragraph font, right? And they might even use this. Look, I've got a third font. It looks like if that's not just bold. And again, I'm not going to inspect it all, but you'll see that. What another popular site? Let's do Facebook, right? Hopefully this doesn't pull up anything. Okay, perfect. Facebook does the same thing. You've got title fonts over here. You've got a parrot. Now you can't even change this font, right? They do something easy to read on everybody's eyes. Why do they choose that? Well, they choose it because it's proven facts, right? So font styling. Let's jump into how you can do that, right? So most of you guys know. I think this is just a demo site. I'm going to edit with Elementor. I'm also going to see if I have. I don't think I have Pro, but we'll find out real quick. Oh, great. Hey. Thank you, Cloudways. This server's having issues. I don't know what's going on. Give me just a second. I know what's going on. It's overloaded with client stuff. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Yes, no. Probably need the new update too. If not, we're going to a different site. Yeah, because we're not going to wait this long. Oh, you know what? Give me just a sec. I just started using this VPN system. And unfortunately, it's been messing me up on everything. Let's try that again. Oh, yeah, that's it. So here, I'm just going to delete some of this stuff just so you guys can see on a blank canvas. I'm going to show you some tricks. Again, this is using Elementor, but WP Bakery, I'm sure, or most page builders have the same repeatable or reusable fields. And some of you guys have already seen this, right? So I'm designing something. The first thing I want to do is set a title and text. And I normally, even on a blank canvas, and I'll give you guys an example. Matter of fact, let's look at the example first. Wait, we're going to pull this off screen so you guys don't see my whole workboard. Just a second as that pulls up. I want to show you what I literally do for clients, right? And this is, I mean, it's going to relate to you guys because it's a beginner site. A beginner meaning I just started it. Sorry. Just a second. I should have this ready. We are at the musical. Just finding it now. Perfect. It just came up. And I think, Shelby, you've seen this. Really cool. Just the way I do layout. So I came in here. This is a client site I'm working on. Won't give you too many details. It's a directory. And it's going to be a custom development. But again, just because I work with a lot with the Elementor Pro, it's going to be the same thing. So the first thing I did here was I decked out a header, right? I just said, oh, I want the header white, you know, with some color, you know, whatnot. And then I jumped down and kind of decked out my footer. That way, when I'm looking at a blank page, I kind of have, like, the header wasn't finalized, right? I just got dummy text. I threw a dummy logo. So nothing in here was finalized, but I threw a header and a footer. I threw some type of banner. Now with ListingPro, I like to go with a blank. If you're just starting, I'll clear this banner out and do no image, and it's usually gray, just so my mind is not biased to like any of these colors or any of the design. Now next, and this is going to relate what we talked about, I created a text, a title field, and I'll show you. And then I did a subtitle field, right? So this was a title, probably H2. This one was paragraph text. And I started adjusting the fonts and the colors, right? I added all the colors to the system that I wanted to use from a color palette, which is a color palette I found on Google. Kind of goes into the music theme. And then I played with all of them, right? So I'm using 4 or 5 colors. You can see it's a light blue. I actually have a little bit, let me see if I can pull that in. I will pull it in, so don't look at my notes. But this is the color palette that I went with. Found this on Google. I was like, yeah, I really enjoy that. So let's jump back. All I was doing was testing these colors, adding to the system, and then double checking some fonts until I found what I wanted. And I'm going to jump into that now. So here, I don't have a color palette, so I'm going to skip that, but I do want to show you. So the first thing I do, I add a title and text. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because we're going to end up duplicating those all around the site. We're going to save it as a template and reuse it. So I have title. Okay, I'm going to center that, and that's all I'm going to do. Well, actually, I'm going to go into it. So style, I add my colors, right? So let's just say I want DD 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already picked my colors. I want this red. I click the add button here. And again, WP Baker or your builders will have this. I'm going to add it to my global color. I'm just going to call it red. I'm going to hit create. That way, once I find something that works for me, I'm going to reuse it. I'm not going to try to pick a blue and every time. So the next one is, I'm going to throw some padding at the top real quick, just so it's not stuck on this blue. So I'm just adding a section. I'm going to throw in a spacer. And I'm cool with 50, but maybe even a little bit more, so we're not biased to this top. We're just looking at the text. All right, so I like this. And then let's jump into a font. A popular font I know of. I'm just going to jump into Poppins, but again, do your research. You might not like Poppins. And I'm looking at it. I don't know that I like this style, so I can always make the weight. Remember, I only do this once. Actually, I'm going to stick with 600. Maybe I want less, maybe I want more. I am going to change the letter spacing. And again, I don't spend much time doing this. I spend a little bit of time doing this just because in the future, I don't have to do it. So maybe I like that. No, I'm going to keep that there. Actually, let's do the size of 22. That's way too small. I'm just going to keep going until I think it looks good. So maybe something like that isn't into and maybe a little bit bigger. So just personally, right? And I'm not fine tuning these, but just so you guys can see. Perfect. So I like that. So I have a font and color set. I'm also going to save that font, just like I showed you last time. I just hit the pencil. I have everything here. I'm going to hit the plus symbol and save it as my title text, right? Probably not in all caps, but that's fine. So this will save you time in the long run because you're just perfecting what you like. And maybe you don't do that yet, right? Maybe you set it all up. You're not saving anything yet. I'm just going to center it. I'm going to turn it into a black. I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to go into the content, just go into text, and I'm going to remove some of it just so it's not so long and put a period. And you notice how things are changing. Now, font sizing is very crucial. Hopefully you guys can see this, but that is way too small, way too small. So what we're going to do is go to style. We are going to change the typography. I'm going to do Open Sans because that's a real fun one. There's a bunch of common fonts I use. Let's use Open Sans. Let's start increasing the size. I'll start at 16. Just going to go up until I like it. I like the weight. I like the spacing. And I'm kind of digging this. Again, if this was professional, I had more time, I'd probably play around with some things. I'm going to go ahead and click update. Now, for this case scenario, I just showed you, I save colors. So I'm going to save that black. We're going to call it, my black. I'm also going to save the typography. That's not really paragraph font because my paragraph font might be in my case. So I'm going to call it subtitle text. And I'm going to keep it like that, right? Because that's for my subtitles. I have titles, subtitles. Now, again, I don't like the spacing. So in Elementor, I just go to advanced. I unlink the margin. So if I just start clicking negative on the margin, it does all of them. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to unlink the margins and watch how this sucks up to the top. I'm just saying the top, I want negative margin. You notice it's getting closer, it's getting closer, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. Maybe I like that whoops, my mouse, Apple mouse just does whatever it wants. All right, so I'm kind of comfortable with that. I'm gonna go ahead and click update. So you're seeing how I created a text, I created colors, and maybe I have more colors. I could throw those in here. Created kind of what I want. Now, if I want to test this, look at this. So I right click, edit. Maybe I want to try the black. So I just come over here to the globe and I choose my black. And it automatically, it's 333333. Maybe I want to try this as red. And it makes go ahead.
Hey, Tim, I have a quick question. It's something that I was just thinking about, and you don't have to show us how to do it, but if it's possible, maybe tell me. You
Sure.
see where it has like the just looking around, let us suggest you something hot and happy. Right there, like that's actually a pretty good area to put some content. I just noticed on my site, it's obvious, it's pretty small. And is there a way to increase that size, or is that how is that?
Sure. Let's jump right into that, man. I appreciate your questions. I'm going to view this on another page. I'm also going to get rid of some of these tabs up here, just so we're nice and clean. So first off, I don't know what text that is, right? Oh, hey, you know what? Something I just noticed. Let's go into Elementor because my changes aren't being saved. Let's go to Elementor, Advanced, Internal. Oh, hey. We've already.
I wasn't sure if that was part of like the imagery there on the header, if that was part of that picture or what.
No, I'm going to show you right where it's at right
this
second. So we're going to go to theme options. And it's in general, but it doesn't have a size in general. And we'll get into this a little bit more. I'm sorry, it's not in general. It's under banner. So we're in banner. And if you've selected one that has that, like this one,
yeah,
yours has it. If you scroll down, what was the text? We're looking for, you got it, here it is. Let's uncover just looking around. Let's suggest something hot and happening.
Yeah.
So this is where you adjust the text. Right, yeah. So let's just do, hey, this is what we edited. Just so you can see, we're gonna click Save Changes. We're gonna jump back to our profile view, and I don't know what there it is. So this is what we edit, right? You can keep that same, but how do you make the text bigger? So I don't teach CSS and styling, right? I'm not gonna teach you, but there are some things, and I actually have a video on all the ListingPro type styling or any real site that uses a theme type styling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to inspect the element, right? So I right click inspect. It pulls up this, and again, I'm not going to teach you coding. Don't worry, it doesn't get crazy. It's going to pull up this, and it highlights that it looks like a P here. So I know it's in a paragraph, and it's paragraph text. And then it just has some stuff here. Now on the right, this is how it was styled. So I'm just going to scroll down and see if I see anything about font. It's quicksand text. It's font size is 15. Now I can change it here, right? So it says, look at dark black. Oh, this is light black, but this is dark black. So if I wanted to change, first off, I can change paragraph text in the theme options and make it bigger than 15. But the problem with that, if I change paragraph text, that means my blog post, that means listing descriptions. So it really starts to jack things up. This is why you don't need to be a coder, because you can literally come in and take, I'm just going to change that to, and I like to do it here so I don't have to like put in the code a bunch of times. So watch as the text gets bigger. Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I like something like that, but this doesn't save it. So what you would normally do is copy all of this from, let me show you where it starts. It starts way up here. Then just, paragraph goes all the way down to the second. Look at the borders down here. It goes down to this. Normally, I would copy all that, but I do know, because this one's a little bit longer and it's saying I only really need this. The only bad thing about this is if you don't code, you have to make sure that you're doing something properly. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to grab this, but notice how the coding in here, this is all whatever it means, right? You don't have to know what it means. But notice it stops and says opening bracket, then your font size, and then a closing bracket. And that's all you really have to remember. I am going to increase that back to 20, just so it's obvious we edited it. Now just grab what you need. You just need from this dark black to the end of the black here. All right, so we're just going to grab that. And then from here, I would just go into customization. So I go into customize. I'm going to open up a new tab, of course. I'm going to throw this in, and we'll cover a lot more of this. That's a little bit easier. Additional CSS. I paste that in there, but what did I tell you? You need the opening bracket. Mine already puts in the closing bracket. I'm just going to put enter, right? So this is what I need to make the font size. But what was that code, right? I don't want no code. I just want to copy what it had. I do know code for the reference, but we're just going to copy font size, colon 20px semicolon to end the line. And again, not asking you guys to learn coding. I'm going to show you some easier examples, right? So we're just going to paste that in there and look what it did, and make sure you publish. So that's going to take your LP, your ListingPro search description paragraph font size to 20. Well, it probably only uses this right here. It's the search description. But let's just say you messed around and you said, no, I just want to do it in the paragraph. Well, first off, that one didn't work, but anywhere else that you have paragraph text, it will have increased that. So that's why I say use the whole code. Now that we jumped into that, let me take a second to show you guys some easier techniques, right? That one was a little weird because it was big, but I like to do this. Matter of fact, let's take out that homepage real quick. I'm going to throw in posts, and this is just styling, right? It doesn't have to be ListingPro specific, but I am going to throw in posts because I know it does this on that. I do have Elementor Pro installed. That's cool. We're going to turn it into grid, which most of us use on our homepage. Grid style 1, I like the best. I know it looks funny here, but watch when we update. So here's an easier way of just visualizing what we just did. Hold on, I'm going to refresh the page. All right, so here I have post, and this orange and this title and this Washington and this open now button are not colors in your backend. So there's no physical way without knowing CSS to change those colors. Well, let me show you, right? And in ListingPro specifically, all I did for custom coding is a lot of color changes, a lot of display none, which is me wanting to hide something. And that's why I say I won't teach you, but like if you just know those two, you can style up anything that you want, how to increase the logo. Mirage, I got you in a minute. Well, let me show you. And these are great examples because they're super easy. Like Washington, I'm going to right click, inspect, right? We know right now it's gray over blue. Look what just happened. So this code popped up and it had a color. So I'm just going to click the color box here because I see it's in gray. That gives me, as long as this is selected, yes, I can type a color in. So I know that I had what? DD1234 for red. Look how easily that changes, right? Whoops, I just clicked white on accident. I'm so sorry. DD1234. I need a pound in front of it as always. I'm going to hit enter. So now you can see that this is red. Now that doesn't save it. That was just me viewing. And yes, the hover was still blue. We can fix that. But look at the code. All I really need is this. And I'll just copy this. Now, do I need line height 30, margin right, 2px, position relative? I'm going to show you an easy way. Okay, I don't need those. I'm just going to copy everything. I'm going to put in my appearance customization styling. I'm going to remove this one because I didn't save that. And technically, I didn't need these 3 lines, right? I don't care about the line height. So I'm just going to remove those to clean up my code. Now, a lot of times when you guys start coding, again, watch the video for the code or I'll post it in chat. I like to be really descriptive, right? So if I just publish this, but later on I have 50 lines of coding, I don't really, when I come back and look, I'm not going to know what this is versus anything else. Now let's just see if that works. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to refresh the page. And now look at these. These are color coded to, not the hover yet, but they're color coded to red. So something I like to do, and I'll do it really quick because I like to go with the ad. I used to do whatever my color was for the site. You can see it's got a border, which is orange. And it's also got the type, the color, the word ad, that's orange. I've been doing this. I've been doing border none. And I've been doing, and again, you could have just picked a color. And then my inside, we already know I'm going with that red all day today. So 1, 2, 3, oops, DDD, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 E's. But again, I've already picked my colors. Now, what lines do I need? Well, I just need from here. Now, this one, I'm not going to copy everything. I'm going to show you a shortcut. I'm just going to copy this and throw a closing bracket after it, right? Instead of copying all that, just a little, small shortcut. We're going to paste this in here. Remember, I need that closing bracket because I didn't copy that. So here's my inner closing bracket. And then do I need the border radius? No, I'm not changing I could leave it in there, but I clean up code. I don't need that. So what do I have? What I copy? And all I'm doing is copying and pasting. Now, again, we're just going to check that out. Refresh that. And now what do I have? I have little ads that are, okay, but that needs a higher font, right? So I'm gonna inspect and I'm looking at it. It's like it's not dark enough. That would be font weight. So font weight, I'm just gonna come up to 700, make it a little bit, look at this one, it's a little bit darker. But now I already have that code back there, right? So should I copy this code again? I just paste it. I mean, I could if I just didn't know what I was doing, right? I could. I'm gonna close the bracket. But why duplicate the code when all I remember the original code just had that font weight in here? So I'm just gonna take that font weight for this. I'm just gonna throw that in the top because I'm still just editing the same piece. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't make sense, look at this. I'll show you. Do it all together. You won't have that issue, right? So if I would have said, hey, I'm changing the orange, I'm changing the color, I'm changing the border to none, and I'm going with font weight of say, if I would have done it all in one, I would have just copied the code and deleted what I didn't want. So I don't want to confuse you there. But one other code, a lot of you guys asked about this in the Facebook groups. Oh, that food was good. Is how to display or how to remove something. How do I got this button here and I don't want to use it. Well, check this out. I don't use this icon button just because I like the word Washington. I don't really like the map icon, especially gray. I got to color it. I'm just going to right click on it. Here's one code I will give you, right? So we're clicking on the icon and I can see that it's category icon. Now things don't work here, right? So I'm looking at this and it says Elementor image. Well, I don't want to do that on every Elementor image. So look, if I click one above, it still is highlighting, watch this icon. It's still highlighting the icon, but I'm specifically talking about the category icon. Okay, well, here's all the stuff so the width is 17. You don't have to know what this is, right? It's floating left, whatever that means. The line height is, so the height somewhere is 27. It looks like it's margin right. So it's got a little padding on the right, but even if you didn't know that, in the front of here, I'm just gonna put my cursor and I'm gonna type in, because the only code I'm gonna give you is display : none. Look how that just disappeared. So easily, and we'll do that again, but all I have to do is copy that code. Remember, I didn't copy the whole field, so I need a closing bracket. We're just going to paste that in here. I need my closing bracket because everything has an opening closing bracket. And now look, we're going to refresh the page and just see what we have. One more thing. I'm not going to go into styling this whole thing. Just wanted to show you how easy it is to change colors that can't be changed through the theme. Like, so those you couldn't change with the theme. So I've made this bold. I've made this red. I've also removed something on the back end. And again, I'm not going to turn this into like a whole coding video. I got a video, I think for 20 minutes, I talk about just ListingPro styling that can't be achieved. We're talking about things that can be achieved here, right? I created this, but the stuff that I couldn't touch, like this border is gray. Well, how can I change that to red? Styling doesn't have that, but I'm sure I can find it, going up. Here's the border. Border is now, as a matter of fact, I like using this a lot too. Once I have that red, I'll just use the color picker and just go into usually a bigger spot than this because that probably, that did come out great. But that didn't work. So I'm obviously in the wrong border. But some things will be like that. So what I would do is I'd come up one more. I'd come to this container and then I'd find it. Matter of fact, this is a fun one. The height is 240. Well, why are some of them bigger than others? I actually removed it. It looks like I made a white border. But yeah, have fun with that. If you don't want to copy something over, you don't feel comfortable with CSS, you can always hire somebody, right? Custom ListingPro Customization does it. I do it. But again, these are easy things. I get these all the, well, how do I remove the rating? Right click, inspect. Okay, it's not here. So I'm just going to go up one. Watch this, display none, right? That box that was there is now gone. Now I just have this one, which I can get rid of that too, right? If I want to. So keep in mind, super easy styling. But let's jump back into one of the questions that we had in chat, and then I want to jump back into how to use templates and then like duplicate them, which is what I was doing on the homepage. So the first question in chat is Scott says Poppin rocks. Poppins is very good. Poppins monster at what Tahoma. You guys can type out. There's some popular fonts that a lot of people they find they reuse, right? Because they're easy to read, great on the eyes, and the styling. How to increase the logo size on the homepage? I'll jump into that. So same way, right? First off, I design my logo in a style that I want, right? So I'm not going to put a 1500 by 1500 pixel logo in here just because I want the size exact. Now, if I right click inspect on this and click computed, it tells me that that logo right there in the format, I don't know what they uploaded, but is 170 by 35. Again, you don't need any coding. I'm going to go back to styles, which is this block here. I can tell you that the height was predefined with CSS. So in this layout, somebody decided to say, hey, that header should only be 35 pixels high. That's a problem. If your logo needs to be taller than that, so now that I just showed you what you need, what I'm going to do is visualize it first because I don't know what I need. So I'm just going to click on the height and I'm just going to go up with my mouse. All right. So now I'm at, let's go to 50 just so it's even. So now I'm at 50 pixels high. And yeah, my logo, maybe I'm comfortable with that. So you put your logo in, right click inspect, figure out what you need, right? Now, once you have that, well, you already know what we do. We copy that code, we go to the customize. And now here's where it gets confusing. I'm going to paste that in here, but now I have multiple codes in here, right? And I'll publish that just so you can always see my changes. We've got post changes, we've got logo changes. Now, this is where it gets confusing because I don't.
When you want to make a change real quick, you have to copy and paste in here additional CSS. It just doesn't automatically save.
No, yeah. So the front end. So let's say this, right? So I'm going to go to Yahoo. You know, I don't own Yahoo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I did, but check this out. So, oh, I got a really cool trick I used to use when I was younger, right? I used to pull up my bank statement and make edits here on the front end and then screenshot it. And people thought I made a lot of money in school. But check out this. Governor proposes first state ban on gas hookups. I'm going to right click. I'm going to inspect. It looks like, oh, Yahoo's going to be one of those funny ones, right? So we're going to go up. All right, Yahoo is going to be one of those funny ones. Let's go to GoDaddy, where it's just not pulling in like that. I see some of it, but I don't want to confuse anybody. So let's just click here, inspect. I'm on GoDaddy now. I don't own GoDaddy. And here is the font size. They use REM. I'm just going to change it to 4.3 REM. Right? Whoops. Actually, I'm just going to click up. So I have. Look at the font size now, right? You can barely see it because it got so big, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean I just changed Yahoo.
Gotcha.
Right? It doesn't, yeah, I mean, it would be great. Or GoDaddy, I'm sorry. That would be great if I could, but like, yeah, Yahoo's page or GoDaddy's page did not just change. One more. So let's inspect. This is a white. So let's just say, what if I did like, I'm going to go to, I'm just going to type in a code, color red. All right, I just changed this on GoDaddy, right? That would be a great hacker trick, but it doesn't change it until you can put it in your CSS. Does that make sense? So yeah, I didn't change GoDaddy. I'll never have access to add this to their CSS, but this would be the code I take. Make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. So yeah, we're grabbing codes. And again, I like to do them on the front end. Here's why, right? So I can actually play around with things. So let's just take a look at this red, if I can find it, because sometimes these are embedded. Oh yeah, so it's here, but I don't really know what color I want, right? And I have 4 or 5 colors, but I like to, what if you don't have a color? So they went with a red that they don't use on their website other than the red I changed. And you want to test the color or logo height. Notice how I didn't know what height. So I didn't remake the logo yet. I'll remake the logo as well. So it's perfect. But to find a color, I can really find what looks, the perfect accent of, let's do blue. Perfect accent of blue. Like I kind of like that, right? And it allows me to kind of say, okay, well, this is a good, I know I'm using a darker blue, whoops, but this is a better variation of just like a highlight. So now I have this blue, and then I'll come back and maybe add that to my theme colors as well. But I wouldn't know that just saying, what's a blue hex code? If anybody knows one, matter of fact, instead of a hex code, I'm just going to type blue. Well, that's definitely, I don't want to get into this I'm testing. So again, I like to do front editor, and I'll find the best blue, right? I just, super easy, or purple, or if you like pink and that's your gig, you can test what you want to use. Once you have it set in stone, then baby, copy the code. And we're getting offhand and additional styling of CSS. I like it, but again, once you have that logo size, can we change those icons, like making the save button a heart? Which icons? I'm sure. Let me go back to the WordPress site. Sorry, we're gonna close Yahoo and GoDaddy. No longer working with those. We're gonna. Oh, so one more thing, real quick. As I was telling you, I like to sort these by something. The only way you can write comment in here is a /**. You notice it turns brown. Whatever you have in here, is your styling, is your notes, right? So overnight coder, and again, this will be recorded. I'll also throw this real quick in the chat box. That way you guys can save that. I like to document everything. So if I'm working on a client site, I'll put overnight coder styling and then everything below that. But then I also do some others, right? So this was, whoops. This was the homepage grids, right? The homepage grid listings, homepage grid listing. And this one down here was, I'm gonna call it header, just because I might make some other header changes, not in this video, but header styling, right? So now if I come back here and one day I'm like, shoot, I want that logo bigger or smaller. I don't like the way it looks. At least you kind of know where to look, right? Otherwise, you'll just have some code in here. And for non-coder, when I fill this thing up with like 400 lines of different styling, it becomes really weird. So I like to document everything and just, this was all homepage grids. This is header styling, right? And I can add more to them if I want. So the question in chat was, can we change those icons, like making the save button a heart? Let me just take a look. That you can do. I might have to save that because I don't have it offhand. But yes, so you right click inspect. A lot of times, this is so there's a way you can do it. And again, I don't have the link offhand, but this was actually hard coded, right? So this was hard coded to say, hey, it's a FA, which is, oh my God. What font stuff? Font Awesome, I'm sorry. So Font Awesome, and then the code is Font Awesome, FA-bookmark.o. So I think, and I'm not 100%, but I think the technical code for that would have been heart. Perfect. So you notice that's in the coding though, right? So I just changed the class and you notice that the heart is up here now on just this one. So technically I don't do that because that wasn't CSS, right? The CSS and styling is over here. That was actually a part of the template. So I would go into, me personally, I would go into the listing template, and wherever the grids was located inside ListingPro, instead of having FA, whatever it was, a bookmark, I would have FA heart. But again, the left side is all template stuff. Now you can, and I don't have the code right offhand, but you can use something like the before class, right? Which is a styling. And look, content FA heart before, but if you change this, and I don't know the code offhand, but I think it changes the F005, right? You can hit enter. Look, so that could work. Forget that it says heart before. I just have, and I just guessed the code, but it looks like that did the star. And I don't know the codes offhand. So yes, you could kind of, I'm gonna save this, but it's not heart before. So let's do a different one because I changed that and it's not gonna recognize it. Let's go to bookmark. We're gonna open up bookmark. We're gonna go to the before icon. And we said this, I'm just gonna copy this in my class. And for our sake, because I guessed a good one, and this is a little bit above, this is a little harder, right? So you gotta find these codes and where you can find them, or I could right click inspect that heart that I did and try to find the code after I like fake the code. So this is the code that I want. It should do it, but again, I usually go into the template, and that's a little bit more advanced, but let's just try it. All right, so we're just gonna go in here. We're gonna paste the code. Of course, I'm gonna have a note, which you guys are getting the hint. Actually, no, you know what? This is actually up here because it's part of my listing grid. And let's see what that did. Normally, I would change the template, I told you, but let's just see if that worked. Look, they're not all stars. So these ones are now stars, and for some reason, this one is not a star, which it's a good question on why I just used the template. But again, because it's saved. So look at this. The save. But once you save it, so once you press it, it was a different call out. Watch, I'm gonna try to see it because these are just repeating. I'm gonna see if I can get it again. Yeah, here it is. So this is the one, but remember, so now it's got a different, so all the ones that I never hit save on could have been hearts or stars, but now this has a different field because I've actually clicked it once. So it's like recognizing that. So I'm gonna inspect this and just see what this is. And it's, look, this is a different, oh, that's not it. We're gonna open this up. We're gonna go before. For some reason, I'm just gonna save this one too. Let's do All right, whatever that is, looks like the Lottie symbol, maybe. I'm just gonna keep that. I don't know why that just showed up. Let's just see what that does, right? Normally I don't do guesswork with CSS, but we're just talking about something that didn't have codes for, so publish. I'm gonna jump off this topic here in a second, guys, I promise you. But can you do like before icons and later icons? Finding this is probably gonna be a pain in the butt. Let's just refresh the page a couple times. If it doesn't show up, it doesn't show up. Stars, stars, random star. Hey, there it is. Whoops, and I just hit refresh again. But now you see, so yes, you can change. I could have made that a star too. But notice it's recognizing that I saved it. Here I just unsaved it. So now everything is stars. So can you do stuff like that with CSS? Yeah, of course. Getting off that topic. Let's jump back because I think this is really important. Jumping back to the templates that we already created and then how to reuse those and how to save them for your other pages. We talk about keeping things consistent, right? I'm using the same red, I'm using the same black. I style all this green, I take off of there. I don't want any green because that's not one of my colors. Same thing with the blue, but this is theme option, so we won't talk about that yet. But I can go in here and I reuse this stuff. Once I'm happy with it, I am in a real comfortable position where I'm always, once I design it once, I'm gonna right click, save it as a template. It will, Caesar. It'll definitely be available to watch later. I'm gonna save this as what was it, a title and subtitle. We're gonna get more into design. I'm not gonna call it a template because I already know it's in my templates library. My kid's singing in the background. I promise my office door is closed. You can still hear him. Now I can reuse that, right? So yes, I could have just hit right click, duplicate, and use this on the page and moved it around. And even though I have it once, maybe I don't want it like that. Maybe I want the left justified on both these. You can do that. You already have the font, the colors, the styling. And even if so sometimes I just want to use the heading. So I'm gonna right click, duplicate. I'm gonna move that into this new section that, you know, I would design later, but I don't want the font that high. I already have the color, I already have, I mean, I can easily just go in there and just say, hey, you know, I wanna make a different type of, let's just jump it down a notch, right? So I've got some subheadings here. I use 30, I'm gonna use 30 repeatedly, or I'm gonna duplicate that repeatedly. This is how you can keep everything consistent. So many times I go to a site, you got different font, you got a different font, you got Quicksand, you got Poppins, you got Roboto, and I'm just like, this is getting really sloppy. And I'll see like 5 or 6 of those, you know, different fonts, and it just looks horrible. So now that you've seen, you can save the subtitle heading. What about pages? So check this out. Once you have, and I spent a little bit of time on that. Now I have my, remember, I have my color saved. I have my typography saved. I have a title and subtitle text. But what stops me from just that? So my next step on that site that I showed you when we start is creating a new page. I'm just going to call it About Us, right? Whatever. I'm going to publish, edit with Elementor, edit with WP Baker, any page builder. Now, how do I get that stuff over here? Where I saved it as a template. Oh, I do not like this. So on all my designs, I remove that H1 header just because I hate seeing this on the same over and over and over. I want to show you where that's at. I like full control. I'm just going to go into WordPress theme options. For this theme, they tend to use it. It's right here in your general settings. I'm turning that H1 title off. That way I can design my own, and I'll show you how fun that is, right? So on the About Us page, I'm just gonna wait for this to sink in. I promise I got a good server. I don't know what's going on. I guess I gotta pay my bill. I'm gonna refresh this. Hopefully that's gone by now. Perfect. So what do I have? If I click on templates, and again, WP, most page builders do this. For Elementor, I'm just gonna go to my templates, go to my template, and I'm gonna select my title and subtitle. But I also like to create, so you see what I do is I recreate things. I also want to create a blank page. So every page, I don't have to do this. So how should I create that blank page, right? So the first thing at the top is I'm going to want to do a section. I'm going to drag it to the top. I'm going to put a spacer in it just so I can define how big I want that section. Maybe a little bit bigger. I'm going to right click the spacer, open that spacer up. And again, I'm only spending time because I'm going to use this on a lot of pages. I want a background color. So I'm going to select the background, edit selection, go to the style. Now, if I had a photo in here, maybe I click a photo and do something really cool with it, but it doesn't seem I have a really good photo that I want to use. So in this case, I'm just going to pick a background color. So I'm going back to not the picture, but the color. I'm going to use my default colors. I'm going to use red. I like that, but I'm gonna just style it up by going to shape divider, bottom. We're gonna give it some, what do you guys think? Clouds, mountain, curves. Let's do curves. A waves brush, I like that one. Way too high, so I'm gonna adjust the height. Just a little bit of height.
Hey.
Now we got some, go ahead.
Hey, Tim, just a quick question. This is Elementor Pro, right? Because we don't have that option with the regular Elementor, do we?
Hey, perfect. So let's take off shape divider. We won't use shape divider, but you definitely have, you can save templates, right? You can save templates from regular Elementor. Matter of fact, let's get rid of Elementor Pro. Just so I can show you streamline, man. No big deal at all. Oh, this is not, yeah, that's the right side. Elementor Pro. Oh, everything needs to be updated, but we're not going to do that now. So I'll deactivate that just so we can keep it, even if you have the free version. We're going to refresh this page. I'm going to tap into here. I don't know if it comes with shape divider. Looks like it still does. Shape divider, bottom. I said brushes. So that definitely wasn't Elementor Pro yet. And I'll check the templates too. I don't think that was either. I'm going to adjust the height. We're just going to do a fun header, right? I like tilt opacity. I like some type of tilt. But let's just have fun with this one. Maybe a little bit more spacer at the top, right? So I'm going to add another, just a little space. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here just so you can see. So now what do I have? I don't want that much space. So I'm going to say 25. So now I have something at the top, right? Something, whether it's a picture that changes, whether it's, then I have a little bit of spacer. I have a title and heading. And then I want a content area, which I'm not going to put content in, but here's my content area. And then because I don't want my content area slammed on my footer, I do a spacer at the bottom, just my personal preference. Depending on the site, 125, 50, 175. So I'm just going to make this one 125. And I'm going to define the page one more time. I have a header, which I can throw images. I can do colors. I can switch this color. I can make it always curved or brushes. I have spacer. I have my heading, my subtitle, content area, and spacer. And I'm going to click update. When I'm done, I'm going to save that as a blank page template. So I save the template here, still in just regular Elementor, blank page template, and I'm going to save that too. So now in the future, so I can build that about page now, right? I'm not going to do it, but I can build out that. I change the title to about us. I change my description, or maybe in this case, I don't even want that, but I can at least delete it. I add my page content, and I've got some type of great page layout for my about page. Now on the future pages start off blank. I'm just going to delete everything instead of opening up a new page. Future pages start off blank. What can you do? So instead of about us, I'm doing a contact us. I know ListingPro already handles it. I like to build my own. I'm just going to go in here to templates, find my blank page template. Now I keep the same styling and design that I have on the rest of my site. Yeah, I might want to change this to black, or I might want to use the header left aligned. Left aligned, as well as this left aligned, but at least it starts me off same font, same layout, same content. And sometimes I even go further than that, right? Maybe I need some paragraph text on here before I duplicate it. That way I can always use the same paragraph text. But now you guys know, you can actually go in here, use some paragraph text and save it as paragraph text, and then come back later and say, hey, I want that to be my title text, or I want that to be my paragraph text, which I currently don't have right now. So any questions so far, just on we're just going over how the elements work in any page builder on any template. We went over a little bit more than I wanted to with custom CSS, and we can jump more into it. It got a little technical, but you can kind of see, even with free Elementor, I was able to do that. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, it's prompting me to go pro. But let's take a few seconds to look at questions, comments, answers, concerns, anything that you guys may have, and let's dive back in for a little bit.
Hi, Tim. I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I have been working with ListingPro for over 2 months now, and I have been experiencing a lot of issues trying to change the colors of the headers, intersection headers, and all that. Or sometimes the sticky header just stays transparent. What is your recommendation when someone experiences that kind of issues with the
I'm sorry, I can't see a name when I'm sharing. Who is this?
Oh, my name is Kenneth.
Kenneth. All right, perfect. So I think sometimes it depends on what's going on. There was I'd have to see it. And I mean, again, you don't have to share your site here with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to reach out, they call me the Overnight Coder. You can find any one of the posts that you found to get in here. You can message me directly. I will share some things with you though. So number one, I've been working with ListingPro for 3 years. This isn't with every theme. ListingPro has some great caching that I didn't find out till late. Every time I design, like the first time I refreshed this page, even though I designed it in black and red, it was in blue and stuck over here, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the big things with Elementor and ListingPro is I have to come back here to Elementor. I go to Advanced, and I set this to internal embedding if it isn't already there. Because whatever external file was doing, it wasn't saving my stuff. Now, it was saving on the back end. So when I'm looking at the back end, it looked fine. Another cause of that, and it would have changed eventually, is caching. So I'm using Chrome. I'm using Google Chrome all the time. I'm on a Mac, so I should be using Safari. I use Safari as my backup because I like the right-click inspect tools that I showed you a lot better than I like the other ones. But a lot of times I use Safari as my backup because I never open it up. You know, I never view my own site. So if I look at it and I notice that it's changed on there, it's just caching. Now, we didn't do the last 2 weeks because of the holidays, but 2 weeks ago, Shelby had brought up that there was a setting in here. I forget exactly where it was. I want to say general, and it was like disable default colors and disable default fonts because some people's themes were overriding whatever they were setting up. And then I'll show you another. So again, there's many situations. I'll show you another case that this might come into play. Text editor, titles don't do it. So I edit a title. It's only a title text, right? And a dynamic box, which a lot of you guys won't be using. In text editor has visual and text. But if I design in visual, keep in mind, this is a paragraph. Even though I have it as a subtitle, this is a paragraph. Watch what happens. I'm in visual. Watch what happens when I press enter or just anything. It goes back to my paragraph default color, which is gray. And that's perfect because I do want my paragraphs in gray. I want my listing text in gray. But what about all those style changes that I made in here? It will only work if you go into text editor, and I'm just going to press the space key just to make one change. Notice how all that went back to red. So that's what I mean by there's different case scenarios. Always if you're going to design it up yourself, use the text area for text field. Just go into text because visual means I want to keep the same formatting that we use everywhere else. So it's a little bit confusing, but once you know that, like I'm always just in text editor. The big problem is my clients, a lot of times they don't know that. And they're like, oh, I know WordPress and I've already designed this, multiple colors all around the site. And then they come in here and say, hey, I want to change that dummy text. Well, what happens when you change that text is now you've got, a whole different styling. It doesn't look like it, but the font has changed. The sizing has changed. The color has changed. And a lot of them, they don't realize, why is that happening? So again, I don't know what your specific issue is, whether it's dynamic CSS, whether it's, it could be caching. It could be a simple thing like this. Now, I will tell you 2 weeks ago, we found out that the icon, so I don't use icon. Well, Shelby, if you remember what it was, what was an icon box? An icon box, maybe? He had, okay.
Are you talking about the one that?
Yeah, that we ran into the other day. Wasn't it this one that wasn't editing?
Yeah, that's what it was, icon box.
All right, so I have an icon box here. We're just going to switch this out real quick so it shows up. But this one, I couldn't get it to work, right? So I have blue, black, and then this. So I'm going to go into styling and just say, hey, we wanted this red. This one is working. On his site, I couldn't get it to work for the life of me. Content is not blue. We're going to go with our black. Description is red. So this one seems to be working for me today. Right now, I would duplicate the column just so I don't look like a beginner. But again, I like to use, and for some reason, it just wasn't working for him. This is a fresh install. I haven't done anything with it. It seems to be working, so I don't want to talk about it a lot. But I told him the solution around it, because we could change text, we could change icon color. It was just this field wasn't changing for some reason. And maybe it was in its Elementor settings. I'm just not sure. So again, if you want to get with me specifically, let's talk a little bit about the promotion side of things. Facebook, I want to show you those two groups so you can jump in. Always ask your questions. We have my group. I started just because I wanted things instantly and I wanted to start promoting people who did work. It's not the better group just because it's got more activity. So, but it doesn't have as many members. So this is my group. It's called ListingPro Theme. If you would request to get in, we'll let you in, no problem. And then the other group, so you can just search ListingPro Theme. The other group is Sam's group, much bigger group. There's just it's a good group. There's a pending process. So some things, I noticed like 3 years ago, if it was the weekend, your stuff wouldn't get posted till Monday. But this group has tons of members. So there's a lot more information, and it's called ListingPro Users Group. And I wouldn't have created my own group, but at the time I wasn't an admin or I wasn't a mod. Now I am. I'm just like, we got 2 great groups. So this one, again, you can see how people just ask questions. You know, it's things that it's free help, or they tell you, hey, this isn't free. You need some help. Matter of fact, issues after doing the update. Here was the solution. You know, so great information here, even if you don't use Facebook. The other one is, and you can find me on both groups if you need help. The other one is my YouTube channel. So Overnight Coder on YouTube. A lot of information here. These videos go up there. I won't bore you with the channel. I am going to mute it. Actually, we're going to mute site in just a second. But a lot of good stuff. Our latest videos were here: SEO, getting the most out of your directory, monetization. This is when I didn't have a clue what I was doing for webinars. You can tell because it doesn't really have a topic, but there was great questions and answers in here if you have the time. And I've got some primetime stuff on here. I'm not worried about the views anymore. As you can see, I've got some decent views. I think one of them has 30,000 views. But if you're just starting into Listing Pro, updating your theme. This is an easy 4-minute video where I update the theme, save logo, translate, and everything else. There's another one on here, how to create a Listing Pro site in under 2 hours. And I'll take you through logo translate, you know, what you should be changing, what not to miss. And I kept them short on these 2. I kept them short on purpose. That way you'd actually watch them and get the most value out of how you can go live. And I wouldn't do it in under 2 hours, but I show you how you can. You know, there's always more pages you can create. So yeah, contact me either way. You know, and I'd love to take a personalized look at your site without advertising to everybody.
Sure. No, thank you. That was really helpful, and I'll let you know when and I will definitely contact you. And that takes me to one other quick question. I received plenty of emails and messages, people offering me personalized services like, hey, I can help you configuring or styling your site. Is that secure? Do you think
Are you getting it from my group, or are you getting it just email?
No, I got a bunch of emails, but only one person from one of your groups contacted me, and he asked me, hey, do you need help with your site? And I was like, I don't know, because yes, I do need help. I don't really have time. I'm managing different processes.
Here's the deal, man. Whether I manage that group, and this is great advice for anybody, whether I manage that group or whether it's a different Facebook group, you have to be wary of people who do non-solicited messages. Matter of fact, if it was in one of my group, I would like to know. I mean, don't call them out here in chat and video, but I would like to know personally, because we don't. If you didn't ask for, like, if you're asking for assistance in a Facebook group, I wouldn't accept. You know, in a free group, most people like start messaging me and being like, oh, I have this service you can pay for, or that's going to be custom. This is going to be 2 hours. If you didn't ask, that's unsolicited. Dude, we don't tolerate that. I have some issues. I had some issues until I booted the guy, but he was starting a new platform. And yeah, every member of the group, he would message and be like, oh, I got a new solution. You're in a Listing Pro group and you're offering this to people who aren't asking. Dude, report it quick. Let us see. We won't call you out or anything, but we need to remove people like that. Now, in some cases, I got a great guy. I think his name is Ahmed or Ahmed. He does a lot of customizations. And if you in some way ask for, hey, I'm looking for this, and you say, hey, he comes back and says, hey, it's customization. Maybe, as long, you know, if it was legit, I can imagine him maybe. I still unsolicited, no, but you know, if he was like, hey, you know, this seems like it'd be a custom solution. Now, all those emails you're getting, most people don't know your email from a Facebook group. It'd be really cool if I could get all your emails, but unfortunately I can't because I'd spam you. But with that being said, Those, I get those all the time. I'm a web designer. I have web design content going out. Matter of fact, even my overnight coder page that shows you how to web design, I got people calling me and contacting me via email, and they get my name off the email registrar, right? If I don't block my email, and they'll get it off that and be like, hey, do you need a web design? I'm like, dude, this is silly. Like, I'm a web designer. And sometimes I'll get it, like, if I've had a couple drinks, I'll get back with them and I'll be like, hey, look, man, I'm a web designer. Please don't approach me with this. And they're like, oh, you're a web designer. Do you need any help? You know, we freelance projects. And I'm just like, dude, I see where you're going with this, but I would never, I can't support something like that. You know, cold email or a cold, you didn't do any research. You didn't reach out. You just, you got me on a list. I can't respect anything like that, man. So unfortunately,
I'm always a bit hesitant with that kind of stuff because I was fully hacked like 3 months ago, and I lost all my accounts. I was blocked from Google.
Yeah, and
I was
this is how it happens,
able to use
right?
Google Chrome. Yeah, so I just wanted to get an official answer, but no, thanks for asking. I mean,
Now, listen,
for answering
I'm not talking about me specifically, right? I have some group experts in ListingPro team that I trust with some work, right? I trust that they're not going to hack anything. I trust, and I'm not saying that I am the one to pinpoint and tell you, but because I manage the group, I know there. Matter of fact, I marked one as a group expert, and if he offered, depending on the price, you know, I trust him to do my work. And I will tell you, I am from the United States and I've worked a lot with Fiverr workers. I will tell you, when you're working with somebody who maybe there's a language barrier, whether it's English or any other language, sometimes you may want to be really specific. In working overseas, I found out that, I mean, it's really good, affordable work. It was really great. I had to be really specific because they will literally take your context, and maybe you are overseas and you're talking about it to me. If I don't understand something, and I get it wrong, it's like, we don't want to redo it. So just make sure in any situation, whether it's local or whether it's, just make sure you're really concise with what you're expecting and what the way you want it to work. And I have learned, I don't get Fiverr work anymore. I hire people like Scott from this group, or the Japan guy, who is in another country, but he's actually from Miami. So it kind of works. But yeah, he does great work, you know, and everything is, it's expected. We talk about what I expect from him. He asks questions or gives me solutions, and it's a great working partnership. So just make sure you have that. If you're just going off an email and you don't really have that, right? You don't know what you're getting yourself into. So if you had any questions and you're thinking about somebody from the group, I got guys in there that I definitely highly recommend. You know,
Okay.
ListingPro also has a customization department. So I don't know what their prices are. I had seen something that it's a $99 consultation, but you can add that consultation to the work that you're doing. I think that just covers their fee. But yeah, they have there's a form. I can find it for you if you need it. I do customization work. I do full designs. Not trying to self-promote here. You know, this is more about design and styling, but yeah, I do. I've worked with many of the people in this chat right now, which is really good, you know, for everything, man. But super
Good.
cool.
Good. No, thanks for the advice, and I will definitely consider working with any of the guys you recommend from your groups.
Sam's group has a bunch of guys in there too that are pretty proficient. And again, if you have any questions, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of people from the group. So if you're looking for something and somebody offers you something, and just run it by somebody, right? We'll help you out. Be like, hey, I don't know that guy. It looks like he just joined yesterday. So again, we've also had some really cool guys come along in both groups and create plugins, you know, and some of these plugins were really awesome. Some of them may need to be updated. I'm just not sure. But some of them have really created like things to help along ListingPro. And then in those Facebook groups, we even find third-party plugins, which, you know, nobody's really going to support as a theme. But if many people in a group have said they tested it, yeah, go for it, right? So if you're just looking at something random and nobody's tested it, you don't know, so don't go off and break your own site. That's why it's not working. But I tell you, we found Permalink Manager Pro, which changes permalinks, which is a big solution to, you know, the ListingPro theme specifically. That plugin works. I've used it on multiple ListingPro sites. Again, it's $49, but you know, it's one of those things that people have tested it, and as long as you have like community involvement, you know that people have tested it, right? If you don't know if they tested it, you're just like, hey, I'll install that. Or in Shelby's case, I'll just do a staging site. I think I know how to do it. Next thing you know, you break everything, then you're in a world of hurt. Sorry, Shelby, love you. So with that being said, that's kind of where we're at with, you know, third party customizations, things like that.
Good, thanks.
Perfect. Let's get some of these questions out of chat and then we'll jump back. Shouldn't break our site, I promise. In the banner where it prompts your local city, you can use that area for other types of text wordings. Let me just pull up what that says. I'm going to get caught up on these text messages, but it says in the banner where it prompts your local city. This. Can you help? Wait, what's up? I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just says explore Washington, D.C. Is it okay to put other, if I didn't want to have that sort of locational information just pop up on a site and say, use it for other types of text? Like,
sure, yeah, check this out. So theme options, what is that? That's the banner. So we're gonna go theme options, banner. Now default, mine is still set at default. But what we're doing here is explore, and then you don't have to know coding, but I will tell you that this is how you're getting that geotag. If the geotag doesn't work, it just defaults to your city. So don't learn coding, but this here, I can just do, hey, explore Washington, right?
Okay, so that's fine to do.
Yeah, or find something in, whoops, your city, whatever that code was, right? So yeah, you can easily just change that. Matter of fact, sometimes I like to change it. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a local directory, I'll keep it because everything's local and I should have something locally, right? So for everybody. The problem with that is I'm doing a national, you know, or worldwide directory. And it was for kiteboarding. And I have I tell everybody Orlando, I'm in Cocoa Beach. But Google picks it up as Rockledge, which is really close. Do I have any listings in Rockledge? No. Do I have any listings because it's a water sport? Do I have any listings in Orlando? No. Then I type in Cocoa Beach. Do I actually have any listings in Cocoa Beach? And it says no. Or it picks my location. I don't like that in a sense because now, okay, I've looked up 3 things, I'm out. Like I just can't keep searching and finding exactly nothing. So I tend to move that because if you looked at my site, I don't have anything in your city. I'm almost 100% sure. I don't even know where you live. So it's like, I find it redundant if I'm not doing something that is it's going to pop up listings. Now, if I'm scraping 300,000 listings, yeah, I'll put that in there. It's all major cities and it's all in the United States. Oh yeah, I might put that in there. Right.
Gotcha.
So hopefully that helped. Next question was.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, sorry. Anything else on that? That kind of
no, I just no, it was great. And someone was on it the other day, and it popped up a different city and when they were located. So I just thought there might be something happening there. So I'm just gonna, put some other wording. That's fine. Thank you.
Explore a city near you. Another thing I like to do is for location, and this is because this is styling and design. But I like to pre-populate my locations, right? I don't want to do. I don't even know what this. Okay, perfect. Today it says Cocoa. This would still say Rockledge, but. So in this case, does this site have anything in Cocoa? Let's be honest, no, right? None of your sites do, pretty much. So I like to pre-populate this. Again, if I'm doing a bigger scope directory, if I'm doing all of Orlando, yeah, this will work perfect, right? I'll just do cities, or I'll do sub-regions, or I'll do zips. There's something in here, but I like to pre-populate this with things that are already in the directory. Meaning, if you come down here and see Washington, you can click on Washington. You come down here and see Florida, you can click on Florida. And that limits some of the dead end searches I get where you just type in, hey, Orlando search. But again, on a short-term directory or a small location, I'll utilize that to my benefit. In this case, it shows no results.
I got a quote from ListingPro just dealing with this, where if you don't have listings in a particular area, that they can code or they can bring up nearby listings. I wasn't sure if you have any experience with that or if anyone here has.
So all of them, like you could do it near me, and as long as you allow the location. But yeah, if they're offering you something and you're happy with the price, I can tell you they definitely know what they're doing.
Okay.
Again, something like that is a little bit different for me and with my work. I just being honest, I don't have all the hours in the world I wish I had. I've got 14 directories going up.
Yeah.
And again, if they gave you a reasonable quote, that's a harder coding. And not everybody's going to be able to do customization, styling. Some of these codes, like, I need to put the description here. Those are easier. It could be a little bit harder, And again, just based on your location. I've got a setup that I don't have it saved, but when no results come in, the client actually wanted to do a contact form, say, hey, we don't have anything in your region, contact us and we'll provide, and it was for like some medical centers, we'll provide that data for you. And what they're going to do is they're just going to find listings, send them over to them, and then have those people join the community, which is great, all aspects. But yeah, hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
Any option, Mirage, I don't understand that one. Any option to display listings by announcement on a page section listings, which has some announcements active. I don't really use that feature as much. I do announcements. I'm just not sure there's a way to sort them. I can check into it though. I'm not going to give you any canned responses. I just don't know. I haven't been able to display just listings with announcements, only because I think in an aspect, I don't need that, right? We have events, deals and coupons. We have deals and coupons where you can sort. I'm just going to put deals. It doesn't pop up like that. It's listings with coupons. There it was. So you have listings with coupons that you can drag in. I know that's not what you're asking. You're asking for things with announcements, but announcements, it's like if I live in Florida and you have a worldwide directory, do I care what the announcements are in Chicago? So, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe that's what they were thinking and they didn't include it because there's so many things you could include, right? Like they did do the sort by coupon or show coupons.
No, apart from this coupon and promotion, there is a one of option now which is coming, that announcement, the top bar it is coming.
You see one announcement?
Yeah, announcement function is also there now. For the business listing owners, they can make some announcement on their listing page.
Notification. Oh yeah, I mean, I know.
No,
wait,
it is.
I know they can create announcements on their listing pages, right? But can you sort by that?
Yeah. So, for example, we can list the business listing by the claimed or by this events. So, likewise, I'm asking, is there any way we can list all the business who have the active announcement?
I'm not sure out of the box. I don't think so, but I'll have to check and get back to you on that one. Give me a second. I'm just typing that down in my notes. And I have you on Facebook, don't I?
Yeah.
Hit me up. Just so it's on the top of my inbox. But yeah, I don't think out of the box. I don't think there's a solution just to sort by announcements or people who have announcements. And yeah, maybe it's something they're working on. I can't speak for the team. I'm affiliated, but I can. I know that there might even be a way to custom code that. Like if you have this field, show it first. But again, trying to find you a free solution. But I'll double check into that for you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Ken says, don't worry, you're not the only one getting spam calls. Sam, no worries. It looks like Sam joined the chat. Natalia, Natira let me in. So I got with her on that. Thank you. Safe travels for you. You can make sure the 6-month support. Yeah, if you have the support with ListingPro, they can help you. Again, I like the Facebook group, so it doesn't boggle down the support. Plus, I get more ideas from a Facebook group than I do just asking a single problem and a single person getting back to me. So, but they do have, take advantage of the 6-month support or the support for ListingPro on general questions. You guys buying themes, and some people are saying, hey, by the way, do you know if WooCommerce will work with this? It's like, and that's not theme related, but if you install a theme or you're having problems finding something, ask me, ask support, if you're paying for it, that's what you guys are paying for. Try not to bog them down. Some of us got real questions. Just kidding. If you get a chance, please download the new update features with the appointment. I don't know. Real quick, just reading a direct message. I haven't tried the features, so I'll make sure I try those out. Sorry, that was just somebody who asked direct. Stefan says, how difficult is it to add a contact form on the no results page? So the no results page is actually, you can do this, man. It's I forget exactly. Oh, let's do Coco. I forget exactly what template it was, but you will find the same exact text. Come on. You know what the no results page looks like. So you find the same exact text that is in the no results, and you can actually search by that. So once we find the template, just go in there and make it easy, right? You could also take this into Loco Translate and translate it with a link in it saying, hey, go to our contact form, which any non-coder could do that, right? Throwing an actual contact form in here, I did have to design a contact form in HTML, CSS, or that brought over because the Elementor template wasn't working. But I literally just drop that instead of this, no results, and I designed the whole form myself. Again, another easy way, Loco Translate this text and just change the text. Now, if you're not familiar with the coding, I'm going to type it up here. I'm going to type it right here. If you're not familiar with the coding, you can look up how to link something. So let's just say you had some text. And again, you don't have to learn how to code, but all I do is how to link text in coding, HTML maybe. And it's going to tell you, hey, just use the A tags. And when you do in that A tag, it looks just like this. So without even reading it, we're just going to paste that code. I'll show you what it really looks like, but read it, right? So I had some text. I'm just going to paste that code. Remember, I need opening and closing code. So here's the ahref equals what? Let's do HTTPS@yahoo.com. And then we need to let it know where it ends. So let's end it after sum. And you've got it right here, right? So this would be the coding. I'm just showing you here. Now check, this is, I used to show people how to code with WordPress and you don't have to learn how to code. Check this out, even cooler, right? So we're gonna, oh, I don't know if this editor does it. It was the old classic editor. Oh no, where's visual in text? Matter of fact, let's go to, what do I say, Elementor. We can go here. So visual, right? We know visual is gonna mess things up. What happens if I wanted to design something here? And I want to link it. So I'm going to hit the link button here. I'm going to go to, we're going to say yahoo.com. Check this out. This is a really cool tip for non-developers, right? I also want to make this bold and maybe make it red. Of course, I'd use my red and not just this regular red. But here's, so remember, we're throwing code now into a template, but he doesn't know how to code. So he didn't know how to create that. Now I just go to text, steal all this code. So that was your, hey, no results, go to the contact page. And you can literally use this code in that no results page, right? So really easy way, or in Loco Translate, it's gonna recognize these fields, put it all in a field that does exactly like this. So I was teaching people how to like not code with that. Like if you needed just a little bit of styling and coding, like I use some for, sometimes I use it in the footer to increase font size and things like that. Easily just create it here, increase it, and then throw it in there. Finishing up the questions here, then we'll get to real, direct questions live. Appointment function, if a particular appointment got canceled, then that slot in a practical after canceling, it's not available for fresh booking. Mirage, I haven't, so that's what Sam was asking me. I haven't messed with the new appointment system, the appointment booking. I know that came out. I've just been so busy, so I'll have to get back to you. It sounds like I should do a demo on that. So ListingPro came out with a new appointment booking system, way different from TimeKit and Reserva, because keep in mind, those were like third-party options that you or the client had to have. Or the user had to have. I never got to try those because they were paid solutions that I just wasn't going out to purchase. The new appointment function that I think they just came out with, and everybody's been talking about it, should be a good one too. I can't speak on it. And Sam's traveling, so we're not going to ask him to chime in today, but I think next week, if he's available, let's have him point out all the great features about it. Plus, I'll give us some time to test. Any other questions while we're here? We're going to jump, that was all the chat. We're just going to jump to some live. I might finish it up with just a little bit of styling. We talked about, real quick, we talked about how to style things up. Does anybody have a website I can look at real quick? It doesn't have to be good, but if you want to post it in the chat, that would be great. And I'm probably going to mention some things about styling. So if you want, go ahead and mention it. We'll spend a few minutes looking at those, and then I'm going to take off a little bit on schedule. Any other questions while we're waiting on those websites?
Does it has to be using ListingPro?
Nope.
Okay.
You want to post it in chat?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at one. Oh, actually, I got a perfect example because I already looked at it. Sorry, buddy. You know, I'm going to rip this one. But that's all right. We're friends. I understand that. We're going to pull up two websites that were mentioned in the comments already. Actually, there's three, so I'll try to do a little bit on each one, right? EcoBiz, you got me. That I've seen this site before. It actually looks good. So I'm going to skip this one for a second and jump into, why does it want to, I got you open twice. Actually, let's jump into it. So this one's really good. We talked about design and styling, just so you guys can get a finalized like on what we're talking about. Don't worry about the featured business section. No problem. So on this one, you notice all the things that we mentioned, right? So some of the font, a lot of the font is similar. He's got the same colors that are repeating around the site. Even in his images, he's utilizing that same color. So this one came out really nice, right? Padding and spacing, and again, I'm just a little bit funny about how close this is to the gray bar, but that could be my personal opinion because I noticed that a lot of his spacing is kind of a tighter feature, right? Fonts are looking good. Capitalizations, he sticks with what he's going with on different types. So this is really proficient. He doesn't have 4 and then a row of 3. And this looks really good with just the design layout. So take a look. Really good job here. This is not what I was looking for because this is a perfect example on how he used some styling in CSS. And he went in and made those changes to match everything. Notice we don't see a random red on here, right? So this is oh, hey. This is a really good start to what he's doing, and I really enjoy this layout and style. And I'm more apt to trust this company with my money, and I'm more apt to start reading around the different things. I trust the site, right? When I'm looking at it, I feel like there's a lot going on here, and I could go into more pages. I don't want to do that because I have 3 examples, but really great job here, man. Really great job. Thanks for sharing that. That's a really good. I think I seen it in Facebook. Somebody was looking for you, and a really good example. Let's go to Dan's site. All right, we're going to open this site up. And don't listen. If I say, Dan, you already know me, man. I'm going to rip it. I love Dan to death. We just talked about this. This was, we had an issue here. And, the difference here, and you don't have to spend the time that Eco spent on his site, right? You don't have to spend that time. But look at the difference here. I do like the colors. We're definitely missing some of the aesthetic, and that's it. So is this a site, and nobody answered this, but is this a site that you would stay or spend a lot of time on initially? You don't even know what it's about. And the Eco site, I mean, I just hope it's something Eco. I didn't read anything there, but this site lacks some of those things, right? And no offense to Dan knows this and he's working on it. So again, I'm not trying to poison anybody, but that's the huge difference. Do you trust this site with your money? Day one, I can't. And I'm not being harsh or anything. I think that now I'm going to have to give him a free hour help just because I am being a little bit, but that's the difference, right? The difference is the layout and the content that you have. But listen, just as a disclaimer, Dan already knows this. He's working on all these things, and I'm sure we'll see a great site next week. Let's do 2 more. We're going to head out on time today. Let's do another one. So now you guys have seen the difference on, and we love you, Dan. We've seen the difference on.
I appreciate it.
On site. You know what? It's free assistance, right? Anytime you can get free help and you don't have to pay somebody and be like, hey, what do I need to do? All right, so this one is probably not ListingPro. Maybe this is the one, but take a look. So is it, and let's use those 2 terms. Is it something that you would trust with your money? If he even took money, I'm not worried on if he takes money and what his services are. Or is it something that lacks a little bit, right? So first things, let's maybe in between. I do have some different colors up here in the logo that I want to take note of now. I got yellow, pink, purple, blue, and then it looks like we got a great font that's duplicated. I jump into, I'm not sure if that's the same font, but it's definitely not all caps. So it looks like a different font. I have another font here, and then maybe, I can't tell without right-clicking and inspecting. I jump into not only those 3 colors, I jump into these 2 colors. I haven't seen these colors before. So I've got something like 5 or 6 colors. I've got this light blue, which doesn't match. Maybe it matches this side. So maybe that's good. All right. I do like, so I'm going to give you some pros and cons. I like what you've done with the design and styling, right? So these are really cool aspects, right? Nobody's really doing like the drip header. I like the way that you pulled the page down, here, I like that. I like the fact that this is a flip book, kind of goes through your images there. I like some of the fonts. I really like this. This looks really good with the moving stuff. The layout of a lot of it looks clean. I think it could use a little bit of touch up, right? And the colors is what throws me off. I think I'm on like 8 or 9 colors by now, and yeah, you can get away with that if you can get away with it. I don't know that everybody can get away with it, but just on the homepage alone, I'm not worried about the icon color. I really like this. But overall, I give it an A, maybe an A minus, a B plus, something around there. And again, this is my personal opinion, right? I'm looking at the padding and spacing, and I went good. This has a lot of white space, right? Maybe he likes white space, and I told you the difference. Some people like that. And I'm looking at padding and spacing here versus padding and spacing in other spots. This has a big gap, a couple inches on my screen, where I seen something down here that didn't have that same gap. This has a bigger gap, right? And I'm not opposed to the white space, but keep it consistent. So this side overall, this is a good design. It's a good design. I would just say try to stick within those few colors and see what you can do to kind of, again, not the icons, but see what you can do to stick in those. And I'm not even sure, like a look, I don't like this. Like this logo here, whatever this is, I don't like that. But again, it doesn't matter if I don't like the logo. I just find that this doesn't fit the rest of the site. And actually it's not even part of the logo, is it? I don't know. But overall, wonderful site. I think that there can definitely be a little bit of touch up sizing. And, I'd probably have to look at this more in depth just to see what a lot of it did to figure out, if it's worth it. I would definitely spend my money. This is somewhere where, yeah, I can trust it. Well, even though I don't read Spanish, I'd have to translate it over to English, but yeah, I'd trust this. We're going to do another one. God, now everybody's posting it. Kuro is up. That's all right. We'll stick around for a few extra minutes. Just so you can get, I know this is only specific to some specific people, but you can get an idea of what looks good. Matter of fact, a good site to look at. Now, don't use it for all your pages, but Dribbble is designers advertising their designs, right? I get a lot of my ideas off Dribbble. Now, I can't do every page, I do a different idea. Let's just say I go into web design and I don't pay for this site. And I type in a search for, I'm not going to type it in now, but for pricing. I look up some pricing plan packages, like pricing, how people have laid things out. And I get an awesome layout on, what it gives me great freedom. Like this page looks great. You'll notice the spacing. You'll notice the same colors. We talked about all this, right? Except for the icons, which are different, but he uses orange and blue and a little bit of purple in all this and keeps it consistent. I like that, and here, can you rebuild this with Elementor? Yeah, and that's where, as a designer, that's where I started playing around, become a better Elementor designer. I'd open up a page, or I'd open up somebody else's web page, and I just try to recreate it. Once you can build the aspects that you're comfortable with, and again, I would never use that for production, but for ideas and getting better at designing, it helps out a lot. It's practice. Let's jump into a few more of these. We're going to do Kuro. We're going to do the Texas website. She said, don't bust her on it. I know we've already looked at this, so I'm just going to, okay. We are going to skip. Yeah, okay, shall we? We're not going to critique this because, yeah, let's talk. The next example.
Yeah, I give up. I did what I could. I give up for today.
I'm gonna refresh. Maybe it's just cache. I was just messing with you, but maybe no, it's definitely not cache. All right, Shelby's website normally looks good, guys. I'll give her that. We have seen it 3 or 4 times in these chats. You can see it in the old videos. She's having technical issues. Here's taller, faster. Oh, we did this one. Sorry. Let's jump. My site is back now. Nope, we ripped you. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate the positive feedback, keeping me motivated. Listen, if your site doesn't, if you don't have what you need, go out there and get it. If somebody said, hey, your site just looks like booty, right? I'll fix it. I will fix it. And I know we all have different stuff. I'm not telling you, hey, adopt my style. But I told you my kiteboarding directory, I'm on version 5. And that's how much of a stickler I am with design. Yes, I could fix the padding, but I'm just like, no, I'll just redo it. And that, unfortunately, that's what happens when you become that guy. But Saudi help. We've seen your site a couple times too, but let's take a look. Let's see where you're at. See if you made any of those changes we talked about. Or let's talk about today, what we said with visual and styling. Would I spend money at the site? And that's going to be a question that we'll just take a look at. Oh, hey, you got a lot better, buddy. So your logo looks much better. Now, granted, I can't read any of it, but again, it's not my market, right? So I love this compared to what you had. Remember before, if you guys have seen the video, you had this big orange Saudi help that took up like probably about this much spot, but it was poor bad. And I think we blew him up on that. And he came back. This looks much cleaner. Just the top of it so far. I like it. I like it. Feature. Look at this. You're matching colors. So your icon finally worked. This is the one we were referring to earlier. This looks good. You know, he's eliminated the extra use of the colors that he didn't want. The padding. This is a bigger style white space padding area that maybe is your style. So totally cool with that. Oh man, bro. This 2 weeks ago, look at your nice. You utilized the advanced styling CSS to make these all the same color. And none of this you can style with ListingPro, right? You had to do the customized CSS styling for this. But this, oh man, this is a night and day difference. I don't like the black. I got to give you something, right? I don't like the black logo. I make that all white so I can see it on black, or change this to a lighter color and switch. And then the blue links. If that's not working for you in your link, you can actually do, like if I have, what are their Ahrefs, right? Their links. User coding, or use that trick that I showed you early in the video where I used the text editor. But if not, you have your link here, and then you can always say span, style, color equals white. And I don't expect you to have to know this. Again, I would use the text editor trick that I just showed you, or you can watch the video over. But I would use this, man. If you're doing text links for these, use this code. I'll post it in the chat, which will also turn them white. And then remember to close it with the closing A. Sam, it's showing fine on my end. What are you looking at? English? Wait, let me get through these and we're going to call it, man. So search and I'm going to make it real quick through the rest of them. Hey, but night and day there on Saudi Help. Way different from what we've seen, which I wouldn't have spent my money before. Now I'm about 80% wanting to spend money on your site and read more. Everything kind of flows. You've got plenty of information just through on my home page for me to continue and at least check you out. Searching app. All right, let's rip it. Again, love you to death. You are using, I like your logo. I would blow that up, but I know you already asked for the code to do that. So make your logo bigger so we can see it. I like the colors here. Something is broken here, right? You're using the listing style, but it's not intended to a style. So it's actually you're having an issue here. Fix that. Now, if you listen to the things you said, I'm not going to rip you open, but if you listen to the things you said, this looks like quicksand. This does not. This looks like quicksand. And again, I can right and click and inspect to get 100%, but I don't need to, because I'm looking at this. Utilize what you learned today. There's nothing negative. Nothing I'm saying is negative. Use it to, you've got a font title that's here. I know this is awesome. Remember I showed you on my site. I like to do, call outs. But then this is so small that it looks like paragraph text, but really this should be a title as well. And of course, this is not formatted correctly. So pick a different, maybe it's grid 1 or whatever you want to do there. Font and style and spacing. Look at your spacing here. So this is really good. I really like this section here. I'm trying to compliment sandwich here. This looks really good. But then I jump into this spacing, and this is like hug next to this. So utilize this. Go through it with the tricks that you've learned today. Duplicate those titles and reuse them, right? Same font, same, because you get a lot of value out of that. Overall, I like the colors. And then all of a sudden you jumped into a red that I know this can't be stylized. So what I like to do on that is I like to create it myself. Watch this. So if you create with Elemental or WP Bakery, create 2 sections. I'm going to create this section here. I'm gonna just add my content here. I'll add text here. I can duplicate it or whatnot. I have this section. I am going to give it a little bit of padding so we don't see that top. I don't want to like be blinded by that second title. So I'm just going to jump this up. And then what do I want on the right? Well, you set a button. You had a button with some text. Maybe you want it centered. You can do all that, right? I won't get into more styling because we've kind of seen how that worked. But yeah, You can do all, I mean, make it red, you know, and you can actually design that yourself. And then you can come back and say, hey, I want the background gray. I have full custom control when I'm doing it like that, compared to like using some random like widget. And especially that widget there, that red will not change without custom styling in CSS. Give me just a sec, because I make the padding on this higher, so don't down me because I haven't done it. I'll do something like this. And of course, with the red button, keep my padding all the same, whether I'm using what, 16, 17 on everything. You all right there? Same thing, you're not done here, obviously, but then you just went into huge padding. You had great padding on this one, and then all of a sudden we said, no, we'll just guess some numbers, and you did that there. Same thing here. Do a little bit more work on this. I'd like to see this next week, or when you have some time to work on it. You do have a lot of content. Oh, hey. You do have a lot of content in this aspect, so I like the fact that it keeps me going, but you need to touch it up a lot. And at some point, this doesn't fit into anything. So I just scroll down, and this is getting a little crazy. But yeah, I hope that feedback helps. I would love to help you out more specifically, you know, just with seeing it every week and seeing where your progress is from there. That's how we all grow. I got time for 2 more, and then we're gonna take off on 42 minutes late, 12 minutes late. Give me a sec, and we'll finalize this with just a last thing and what we touched up. All right, I shouldn't have to review this because I've already seen it. It's looking good, Scott. Scott built this with some new tools that I think he's getting a lot better with. And I won't tell you who Scott is, right? You can probably already guess, but you've seen the name and everything. But when I first met Scott, man, I didn't like his design styling at all. And I was like, man, I do need help, but you do great back-end work. So I was like, well, listen, just work on the back end. He's come a long way with just a little bit of practice or the time that I've known him. And I know he's been doing this for a while, but it's looking really good. You know, it's looking really, really good. And I have a good relationship with Scott. So, you know, I am enjoying your new approach to laying out things. This looks good. It matches what we were talking about. You know, the same padding here is the same padding here. This has a subtitle, so I can't count that one. But yeah, you're keeping things consistent. I think I don't have anything you can work on right now without just coming off the home page. Good. Let's jump, Ken. This is some good examples, guys. Especially with what we talked about. You can see where I'm going with this. Like everything we talked about at the beginning of this class results back to everything we're talking about here. What did I do wrong? I'm not going back if it didn't pull up. It didn't pull up. All right. So let's talk a little bit about it, guys. I want to see your site. So come next week, you know, when we're doing the questions and answers or I ask for a site, show your site. I've seen a lot of improvements, and maybe these guys will tell you, maybe it's just from getting, you know, you don't know it doesn't look good for everybody until you've asked, right? And I have seen from the 3 or 4 people that have already seen their websites, everybody made shoot. So I promise you, Shelby's site made a huge improvement until she broke it. Made a huge improvement, and we've went over her site like 2 or 3 different times. You know, so really good there. I know she was working on something. Just as a disclaimer, she was working on something on the back end, and just blew up her whole site with dynamite. So it'll be back, I'm sure. But everybody else, a wonderful job. So today we covered a little bit of styling design. Feel free to go back. I showed you guys a lot of gold tricks there, man. You know, the styling of CSS. I mean, I'm a developer. I know those tricks, but you can utilize those everywhere. The padding, the spacing, how to duplicate even if you don't want the same size, remember, you can click on it still. I have all the same features and just make it smaller. And maybe this is my paragraph text. Not that I would use Poppins for paragraph text, but maybe this is a text and you can save that one as well. And we kind of touch base on all that and how to keep your design aspects. Look at popular websites. When you're designing your website, I don't want you to look like Google, right? Because who wants to look like that? But does it look like a format a popular website would use? Can you trust that? You know, Facebook, it has I'm not the happiest with Facebook and what they're doing and Facebook jail, but you know, it looks good. You know, it's easy to read. It's easy to navigate. Facebook will keep you on there for hours because it's easy to find things and easy to cycle through content. Same thing with your web page. And look at it could be any of your favorite web pages. Look at those and start using a style. The reason I said don't use dribble on everything, because if I do one style of my pricing plans and I like, rounded corners and big font, but then I go to my about page and I try to copy somebody else's style, doesn't really work like that. You don't want to be everywhere, right? All of Facebook is all of Facebook. It all looks the same, right? You go around, of course, it's got our content, but they don't all of a sudden on one page have nothing but cursive, right? And keep that in mind. You want the same flow in your web design and your designing aspects. So that's it for me, guys. I appreciate your time. I will stick around for any final questions that you guys want to voice out. But I think we had a good little session on how to recognize and stylize and design your thing. Any questions before we pop out of here? Perfect. Well, listen, you guys have, go ahead.
Hey, Tim, thanks a lot for your feedback. Is really appreciate it.
Yeah, whether it's good, whether it's positive or less positive feedback, it helps everybody, right? And again, if you guys catch anything on my site, let me know. You know, matter of fact, I've missed a bunch of things, but I have to come back and test and review. But again, I do this full time, right? You're looking at 20 years, at least 20 years experience with designs, aspects. And again, if something was said positively or negative, you didn't pay for that review. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just somebody looking out, trying to help everybody for no charge here, man, no charge. A lot of time consultation, somebody's going to charge you $100. You know, I'm helping you guys out for free. So utilize it if you want. If you didn't like something I said, take it with a grain of salt. Again, I try to tell you that, like with the white space, not everybody likes a lot of white space. Not everybody likes minimal white space. So I try to be not biased on that, right? But I do like same size padding. Like I don't want one thing to have a little bit and the next one to be like two scroll. It doesn't work like that. So again, you can tell I'm not biased with, even if I don't like something specifically, I try to back it up with, you know, does it look good? And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So anybody else before we jump out? Again, we'll post this up probably in a couple of days whenever I can get the video from Sam. I know he's in here now, but I am going to take off a little bit on time this time. Oh, you guys know how to find us, both Facebook groups, the Overnight Coder channel. Make sure you check out some of those awesome videos, and we'll see you next week, same time. Have those edits to your guys' site, man. I want to see edits. If you come to me like Saudi Help, that site, hey, that site made 100% difference, man. Whatever you did there was awesome. I hope you didn't hire help, but if you hired somebody, that's great because they did an awesome job. But I would have loved to see if you did that. Like it just looks great. You know, and it was a great turnover from what we've seen, which just needed design. But either way, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you guys next week. Well, what's up?
Sorry,
thanks,
can I quickly
Tim.
ask? I just want to, that template that you were creating in Elementor with a sort of red banner at the top. I've seen that on many of the ListingPro pages, there are banners at the top. So I assume you've removed that one, or how do you go about? Do you just create a new blank page using Elementor?
No, did you see that? So the first thing I did was I removed that banner in the section on, and I showed you, but I'll show you again. I removed that. Let me just do it this way.
Sorry, I'm what?
I don't know, and you're breaking up too, but that's all right. So the first thing I did was remove the banner from the theme options. So theme options, it's in general. I can't hear you. It is cutting in and out on your end, but page H1 title, I have that off, right? Once you turn it off, you don't get the same banner at the top of each page. It allows you to create your page like you've seen us do, create it, and just create your own banner, right? And you actually I actually saved the page as a template. That way I can reuse this template later. And maybe I come along and say, hey, well, you know, this time I don't want to use red. I want to use my black, right? The one that we saved. Or I want to use a photo, right? At least you have that banner that everything is already saved, right? So it makes it easy to come along and say, hey, look at that. Super easy, right? Well, maybe I want to center it because that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good either. So I have to find a better photo. But you can see how easy it is to manipulate and not have to recreate the header every time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. So you just switched off the page H1 header, that toggle.
That allows me to create a page that I want, right? With no design and styling. And then from there, yep. And again, catch the replay on the video because I saved this as a template. and reuse this on every blank page. I won't use the same header. I won't use the same, but I literally will repeat that on, so every page has the same layout, right? Maybe I switch it up, but I still have a picture, color, image, and it keeps it fun. And maybe you don't like the brushes, maybe you like, something different, but we went over all that. Sometimes I like tilt opacity. That one looks good sometimes. Tilt in general looks good. And again, you have to play with the settings. Like I might not like that. I might like something like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here, but sorry. I actually have someplace to be. So I wanted to keep this one a little bit tighter to our normal schedule instead of sticking around forever. So that's why I'm not trying to rush anybody. That's why I was just like, hey, just so everybody's on the same page. But yeah, have fun with that, man. And if you have any questions, man, reach out. I can help you. I don't want to log in there and do it for you because I just created a whole video on how easy and fun it is to do, but I can definitely give you some pointers or if it looks good. And look, my padding just got way off because I decided to use tilt. So I have to go back in there and fix that.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you coming, man. It's been awesome. Thanks, Tim. Hopefully we'll be able to make it next week. I just don't have the input from the Zoom and the videos. Yeah. Refuge. I am helping out for a refugee person. Oh, so you're doing that. I like it. That is definitely, sorry. Your site came up. Because you posted it, I'm gonna, even though I'm trying to go, I'm gonna look at it. I'll give you a review real quick. It's gonna be a real quick one though, so site works. All right. I'm gonna rip this one. And you can probably see where I'm going. So I can't even read this text. I mean, I'm close to a monitor. This is 34 inches or 37-inch screen. I can't read any of this. Electro, well, I guess I can if I kind of stare at it. I can't read the logo, right? So the logo has to get bigger or has to change. I'm assuming the logo looks like this, which isn't bad, but this is distorted. The lines are squiggly. Hopefully you can see that on this. The logo is also called Heart Rate BPM ECG Gate Remove Preview 1.01, and that shows up whether it's the logo or whether it's background image. Change that or remove that. This is a basic style and font. I would change that, and if you're looking at colors, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and I haven't even started on the page. I'm hoping that you don't hear 6. So I'd work a little bit more on this, man. To be honest, but yeah, I don't want to rip it apart. But padding seems good on these, but there's just a lot of stuff that's just so inconsistent. So work on it a little bit. Find another service professional and pull that one open. Right? Make it easy. I'm not saying do the guesswork, but make it easy. But sorry about that, guys. We are definitely taking. Oh wait, we've got new font. I like this font. Oh. I don't like this page. I mean, this is, yeah. Unfortunately, I wouldn't spend money at this company. And I think that based on all the design we said from today, I think you can get a lot of tips and tricks and increase that and make this 100% better. But you have the content there. All you need is the. Some of you guys are gonna hate me, man. I'm out of here. you guys have a great day. People are, I'm gonna have spam mail. You guys are probably submitting me to everything. You're like, man, screw this guy. But it's the facts, it is what it is. So work on it. No, I mean, so Scott is still here and I can see his face. So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I was doing the design for my client sites because it held my standard. Scott did great on the back end. So we had a crazy talent and he even showed me some new stuff. As a 20-year developer, I didn't know. So everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Now, some of you guys are not web designers, right? You might be a doctor. You might be a sales rep. So I'm not holding it. I'm just giving pointers is all I'm giving out to you. If I can help you from a web design perspective, yeah, I wouldn't trust these people with my life looking at the photo. Hell, as reading the content, I don't even know if that's what they do. I just don't know, but no, you can't work on me. But you can fix that. Guys, I'm really out of here this time. I appreciate your time. Everybody have a great afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where it's at. And I'll see you guys next week. You know how to find me. Peace. I got to go. See you later, Scott. Thanks. Stop recording.
Later, Gator.